Welcome to Turning Tuesday. This week you are seeing my entire adventure of Turn SA 2025. So starting off with, I made the badges for the turning event. So badges are handed out on people signing up to the event. So they pay their price and they get handed a badge which represents the event. This badge I took from a photo which Sid had taken last year, and I put my own little signage on the front. So this is a lathe that he puts out the front which says, "Go in this driveway for the event." So yeah, that took me several days to make 54 badges. Didn't need that many, but I'm glad we had that many because it was very much helpful. Here I'm cutting up some red river gum, and I didn't do anything with this, but I did take it down with me. So right there I'm just making sure it's under 30 centimeters so it'll actually turn on the lathe, because my lathe is only small. And as you can see, I'm now wrestling a massive burl slab. And right here, a difficult decision had to be made, because it wouldn't get past, it wouldn't turn, and so goodbye little bowl. That's alright, I'll figure out another way to use that piece. I just didn't want to lose any of the big ones. So the big circles are 30 centimeters or 12 inches, and the little ones varied. Now, what just happened there is a piece of the resinous deposit, so all these little black pits you're seeing, had released, gotten stuck in the binder, and got my blade completely stuck. And I just decided to take my mallet to that one and get the blade back out, and now I'm just focusing on getting as clean a cuts as I can, because this is blade number 2. Again, using that circle, which is a 30 centimeter circle, just to make sure I do have full coverage. That piece is my piece. So that one, I noticed chatoyance in it. It's got a really nice blonde patch over near that natural edge over there, and it's gonna be something special. Now my wife did help me while I was cutting these up, because that was a massive slab. It was 80 centimeters by 90 centimeters, so the wife is behind the GoPro there, grabbing any of the offcuts. And right now I'm just going in as straight as possible and allowing myself as much working room as I can to keep as much of these blanks as possible. So these blanks ended up, all bar 2 of them ended up in South Australia. One went in the auction, one got gifted to Sid, and one got gifted to Barry. So that's made its way down to Melton. If you're not familiar with any of these names, that's fine. There is photos with names on them towards the end. So hopefully you will stick around that long and see who just turns up to these events, because there were some wild characters. I may have been the wildest. I'm pretty sure people were very upset that I used some very colourful language frequently. So, I'm sorry for anyone who that offended, but that's me. Anyway, so I'm just cleaning up nice and gently around these edges, trying to keep my hands nice and safe from that blade. I am wearing a jumper, and that's only because it's cold. It's winter. You can see the 2 horsepower dust extractor working hard in the back there. So I've got all of these blanks rough cut, and now I'm just bringing them back to give them a nice round profile on them, and hopefully make them a bit easier to work later on. I did miss with the chalk. I was following the actual scribe line that I put on there, and yeah. So these originally came from a big burl slab. I've got 3 of those slabs. This one was the one with the most resinous deposits. Some of the others are more solid wood. So those burls should be significantly nicer. I picked these up for an absolute bargain, and that's why I had no problems donating some stuff. This one here, I'm pretty sure is the one I gave to Sid. There's going to be some beautiful sapwood in that if he keeps it. Be interesting to see what he does. Anyway, I was just putting that face down and taking off as much as I could with that. Just checking with the lines I'd drawn on it. So yeah, none of these smaller ones went down with me. There'll be future projects if they survive. Because I don't know if they will with that much pockety, almost punky wood. So it's extremely light, and I suspect it is quite punky. Now with that one that I sacrificed for the greater good, I've just remeasured a quick circle on it, and I think I managed to get about a 12 centimeter blank out of that one. And those ones I'll probably use for pen blanks or something in the future. But that's the last of them all cut up, and now we'll have a quick look. So yeah, 5 30 centimeters or 12 inches, and then a heap of little ones out the back there, which vary between 12 and 20. So, car's all loaded, off we go. Starting nice and early, we are at 3:30 in the morning, and hello Skippy. Off we go. So yeah, I cut through the back of Sutton there, out Murray Bateman, and ended up out through Yass, because the only way to get south is to go north. So went up past Canberra, up through Yass, back around, down through Gundagai, down through Violet Town, and then I went across the flats of Victoria, and yeah, so Raywood and all of those fun places out in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, so this is me on the Hume as sunrise was kicking in. Just out the back camera while I'm driving forward. Hopefully I'm driving forward. Anyway, I'm at Albury and I am getting drinks and wake up juice. Coming back onto the traffic at Albury and setting off again. That ute was a bit impatient and swerved around that truck. Yeah, I just included some little clips here and there, which just shows off the Australian countryside. This is south of Albury Wodonga, and we're turning off of Violet Town now. And this truckie, as much as he doesn't look that close, there's only 2 lines in between us, and he keeps creeping up on me. I'm doing at least the speed limit, and he was most certainly catching me. Stopping off and seeing some of the painted silos that are around the place. I really enjoyed that one when I went down to South Australia. So I've got family that's in Kingston SE, so while I was down there last time, we stopped off at all the silos, and I remembered this one, and I really wanted to have another look at it. Now we're out in the middle of the fields. I couldn't find the clips where I'd driven past a few burl trees. They were just absolutely ridiculously burled. This is a nice back road out towards St. Arnaud, and it's 2-way traffic, but 1 lane, so you've got to go around people on the shoulder. Certainly wasn't doing 100 on that one. And welcome to South Australia. I stopped overnight in Horsham, and I got up nice and early to hit Kingston SE on sunrise. And we are there. So this was the turn into Turn SA, and then everyone started getting set up. So over there on the left, I am playing with the laser engraver, and I am making a sign, which will be shown at the end of this. But this was early in the morning. I set it up, and it just ran all day while everyone moved in, getting set up. We've got Ray walking around there. We've got Jen getting her scroll saw set up. We've got Julie getting her card making stuff out. We've got Michael already doing his scroll saw stuff. I picked up one of his items. He made a multi-piece donkey, which I picked up because I really enjoy donkeys, and it was really cool. So you can see the laser engraver is running over there on the left. Me and Sid are sitting there doing the sign-ins, so I've got the badges all there on the table. We've got the sign-in sheet and getting everyone underway. We've now got Barry turned up, we've got Murrayland's woodworkers all turned up, and yeah, everyone slowly strolling in. So we got the official count at 18 lathes and 6 scroll saws. And so we could have fit a few more, but it was just a really nice number, and I think everyone enjoyed their time. You'll see it was set up and spread out quite nicely. So over the back there, you've got Sid set up with his 2 lathes, and we had Kai, the young guy in the high vis there. He turned some stuff on one of Sid's lathes. Then you've got me, and we had Ray. In between me and Ray, we had a communal sharpening station. We got Graham getting all the tools out. Graham used to be, I believe, an engineer at Woodfast down in Adelaide. And he's got some really cool stories that he shared with me, and I really much enjoyed spending some time with him and hearing all his stories. The lathes are starting to set up on the back corner there. JB's just turned up, and he'll set up over in the back there. Everyone kept saying that he was really into making mice. I didn't get to see any of that. He did make a beautiful bowl, as well as I believe he did the twig pot and flower challenge. The girls from Ararat have turned up, so that's Kelly and Anita, and they set up right in front of me and Sid, and that was a lot of fun. They certainly knew how to have a bit of fun, and so Anita pumped out, I think it was 28 bowls by the end of it, and Kelly's still learning, and she had some tutorial while she was there, and yeah, that was a lot of fun, as in she learned alongside us. So not only did we have people coming over and giving us advice, there was people swinging by them and giving her advice, and yeah, it was just a really good community spirit type event, and it was really interesting to see everyone just chipping in and adding their 2 pieces into helping each other improve. So I really enjoyed that, and yeah, thanks to everyone involved. This was a lot of fun, just watching everyone come around and have a look at what was going on, what people had set up, and what they were going to be getting into. We just got Robbo sneaking out of the camper there, and he's going around saying hi to everyone. I've just asked Michael to cut me a little square that I could stick under Kieran's lathe corner, because it was off on one corner, and 3mm ply was the perfect size to keep it balanced for him. If you watch top right, you'll see Robbo get off his scooter and come and actually give me a little bit of a lesson. And I was trying to play with a piece of red cedar that did not want to play ball with me. So he saw what I was doing and he was like, no, come have a look at this. So he got up and actually grabbed the tool. Got Theo just turned up and his scroll saw is set up there. He's just setting up his display of things he's made. Got Jen scroll sawing down the bottom left there still. And we've got another Jen as well as Julie on the bottom right. Card making and knitting. By the end of the second day, I was wearing my red beanie that Jen had made. And that's my new turning beanie because it kept my head warm. And it was very nice. So Kai's getting set up now over in the back there. He's turning a little bowl for himself. He's getting advice. You'll see everyone just popping over and seeing how he's going and offering pieces of advice. Me and Graham are over then back there having a chat. And I'm making my little claret ash bowl. So this claret ash bowl had a challenge all of its own. And that one, it had a inclusion of a nice crack, and it was a natural form crack. It wasn't from drying or anything like that. It was one that formed over years. And as I was going to scrape the interior, I couldn't get a nice cut on it. Then you'll see JB just spoke to me there. He was like, turn your speed up. And so I cranked the speed up to about 2200, and that surely took the harmonics out of it, and yeah, it got a nice clean cut on it. So what I was engraving at the start there was that little icon there. So I used Jay's red stain for the YouTube red, and then I used some chromatic paints to go over the other letters. There's Mal saying, oh, what are you working on? This is a piece of Red Mallee that I picked up from the ACT Woodcraft Guild. I'm just quickly having a look at what these cracks are doing, because I'm just not sure what's going to happen. And now I've realised my tool is blunt, so I'm going to go and sharpen and back with a fresh tool. Almost round. And I'm having a discussion with Sid there about the cracks, because there's one crack there that I just wasn't sure about if it would survive or not. And so his recommendation was, here, have some super glue and let's stick some sawdust in. So, having a discussion as to the best approach on this, and I did go and pick up some. You see my little claret ash bowl there that I used for my sawdust bowl. So I stood there walking around, mulching up shavings from the exterior of it, as well as I'm going to put the bowl underneath and do some sanding and catch some extra. And get some nice fine stuff. So I'll stick some in the crack and I will then glue it after I knock my bowl over and lose half of it. Putting some super glue in there and finish it off with some extra bits. So I then from here put some accelerator on it. This is where I first saw the true colour of this. I went, ooh, that's pretty. And I wasn't finished with the shape yet, so I decided I would then go and do the shape. I got to this point and I said, I really like the way a rim looks on that sapwood. So the nice white sapwood, and I was like, alright, let's go with that. And people saw me thinking about it, not turning, and they came over and wanted to know what I was up to. So I told them that's what I was going to do. And they were like, oh yeah, sounds good to me. This gentleman's recommendation was fill more of those cracks. I didn't feel like they needed it, so I didn't. He was trying to tell me it was a wood from Western Australia. I don't believe it was, given where I picked the wood up from. I believe it was Red Mallee. Now, Sid got sad. I made a little short and he got even sadder because I ended up getting more views than he did. He made a nice little funnel while trying to take the foot off. Anyway, just going back and giving this the shape that I was hoping for. And I'm very pleased with how this has come out. Just telling Sid what I did with that crack. Giving it a quick sand. Doesn't need much because it's coming out nice. Sid's little air blower there is very handy for getting the dust out of those cracks. Not so much on the inside, as you'll see. I had to get the skewer out for that. And here we go, applying the first coat. So this was a really thirsty piece of burl. I ended up putting about 4 layers of this oil and beeswax mix on. And it's a citrus oil, so it didn't change the color at all. And yeah, you might see a pair of red sneakers over in the back there. That's Jay from Salisbury Crafts. And he's standing there taking photos while I'm getting myself covered in shavings. Barely shavings because it is Mallee. Chips galore. Anyway, after getting some photos, I then wanted to have a look. Oh, Jen came over and was like, have you got any nice stringers or anything that I can use for my flower pot? She was going to colour it in some moss or something of the sort, and I didn't see any photos of that being finished. Just setting a quick depth hole here. I got everyone interested coming to have a look at this piece of wood. See that sapwood there? Now, I believe my audio is now out of sync, but I'm just sitting here coring it out, and you'll notice I'm in overhead mode because for the most part I've got shoulder cam. Now, I did take this, what I considered to be risky thin. It's about 6mm, so it's not overly thin, but for a burl with cracks in the very bottom of it, it was definitely thin enough. Raising the center there and giving it a quick scrape out, making sure that transition is nice and smooth. Very happy with how that has come out. Sid's standing there telling me it's a little bit thick, and we had another look through the cracks and we're like, nope, that's there. Anything else we'll sand out. Because being such a dense wood, it just sands absolutely beautifully. So I left the natural cracks and deformations in the rim. Just adds a really nice layer to character, and I really enjoyed it. This is such a beautiful piece. Now, this is what I was talking about with it didn't quite work the way I wanted it to for the internal cracks. So I went and grabbed a skewer and dug most of them out. And then I forgot to start recording again. So here's some photos of the finished product. As you can see, it's got quite a bit of character to it, and I very much enjoy how this one looks as well as the overall shape that it came out with. And we're going to step straight into the next bowl, which was a wood I've never touched before. Well, I've touched the bark, I've never touched the actual wood. And this is mulberry. Mulberry had a very distinct smell to it. Wasn't quite as pungent as camphor, but it definitely had a smell, and it was quite a nice smell. Not as nice as Huon Pine, but nice. See Sid in his director chair over there. I'm pretty sure he's sitting there calling me a few names after... Oh, hello. That was a big catch. So Sid did that the other week on his little WL1220A, and you'll notice the lathe came to a complete stop. And we both found that interesting when it happened to him, because we didn't know it had that safety feature. So it stops and then we'll start again. So right here I've decided I'm going to go with a rim on this bowl as well, but I am going to pull out my spindle gouge and put a little cove on it. So I'm just finalizing that foot, making sure that it clears, and taking the rim up a little bit more before I put the actual cove on it. Just doing a nice gentle cove with a step. And that'll do it. Now at this point I had noticed already what the chatoyance was doing in this piece, and I was like, this is gonna really pop if I polish this up. So I sanded it up. I did 2 layers of Triple E, and then I did 2 layers of Shallow Wax Glow. Notice there I'm using the edge of the sandpaper. I'm just using it nice and loose in that cove, trying not to change the shape of the cove, and I got away with it. So I sanded it up to 400, then triple E'd twice, and then I shallow wax glued it. And yeah, as this was on the live floor, I had people coming by and chatting, and it was quite an experience. For someone who turns alone in his garage, that was all new. Now you can see it's a bit matted there, but as soon as I start buffing it in, it gets a very nice mirror finish on it. And so I go for a second touch, and that mirror finish amplifies. And you can start to see some of that bird's eye there. Sid didn't know he gave me a piece with bird's eye. Thanks, Sid. Appreciate it. Other people started to come over because they noticed this wood. Because this wood does have a greenish tinge to it, so it's a colour that's not average. Like, you expect your blondes, you expect your reds. The colour you're seeing about here feels close to its natural colour. And yeah, got a nice shine to that, and turned it around. Got Graham standing there having a squiz as to what I'm doing. Putting a depth hole. And starting to pour it out. And then I felt it go a bit funky. So I'm I'm just going to reseat it. No damage happened. Did have a good look. And you can see my red beanie at the top there. Thanks, Jan. Apparently I didn't make my depth hole deep enough. This wood cuts very nicely. As you can tell by the big shavings, it's coming out with absolutely no effort at all. I am in 10 times speed, so yeah. Again, everyone's stopping by for a chat, and those beautiful stringers coming off there. And what amazing grain patterns. So I got it to where I was happy with it, and I just quickly touched it up with the, I think they call it a French, it's what I call my bowl scraper. It is a French bowl scraper. Just trying to fix that transition there. And then I realized, there's a bird's eye in the dead center of the bowl. And I pointed it out to Sid. He's standing there calling me Bastad. Bastard. Yeah. And he's standing there saying, don't worry, once you finish turning it, I'll take it. He didn't. He came home with me. I knew he was only joking. But it is such an interesting piece. That bird's eye really added a different layer there, and I forgot to touch up the rim. I'm just going to quickly touch that up, then I'll give it a quick sand, and we will be ready to finish. I do want to say a huge thank you to Sid. So if you're watching still at this stage, I don't know if you are, because this video was quite long. And yeah, if anyone is still out there watching, thank you for watching. And a huge thank you to Sid for putting this on and for putting up with me for, what was it, almost 10 days. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, thank you very much. And hopefully we'll see you again next year, if not at another event soon. See that mirror finish, and
oh, that's nice. Yeah, Sid didn't realise he gave me nice. The bird's eye.
Sid didn't know he gave me.
It's got fiddleback that runs the whole way across it. Yeah. And then there's a couple of bird's eye sections in there. Yeah.
Thanks, Sid.
Just full of character. Thanks, Sid.
Thank you, Sid.
Yeah. This piece of wood really is full of character. Almost as much character as Sid. So, we will now be moving on to the final day of me being in Kingston SE, and we got such a beautiful sunset. So thank you to everyone that turned up to Turn SA, my first wood turning event that I've ever attended, and you made it such a memorable one that I am looking forward to going to more in the future. I don't know if I'll be up for that big drive again, but we'll see. There's still time. I could change my mind. And I set off early again for the drive back, and we are already at the South Australian border. Goodbye, South Australia. Hello, Victoria. We've hit sunrise, and we're at Nuttermuck. Beautiful little sunrise with a light fog. I do really like the Australian flats like this. They're just full of life. And then Google decided to take me on a detour. This was not expected. And I'm glad I had the all-wheel drive. I slapped it into mud mode and it was required. So the potholes are alright, but they hurt. That one was a bit steeper than I thought. It hurt.
Fucking hell.
Yep. I'm with ya. Got a decent stretch, and we're almost back on the same road we started. The road there was extremely muddy, and I tried to go around as much as I could. Unfortunately, I had no choice but to send it.
Fuck me.
Good thing I had mud mode. So I ended up nice and caked with all the mud, and by the time I got home, there was only about 2 inches sitting on my mud flaps. Only 2 inches. And yeah, that was fun. Not a detour I wish to take again, please Google. This is the Shepparton exit. So we're almost back at Albury. And the only time I saw police was just here. I did find that territory with the caravan speeding up a bit ballsy right in front of the cops, since we were already doing the speed limit. I'm loving these rolling hills. So we're back on the Murrumbateman to Sutton Road here. And now we're going to step into some photos. This was one of the amazing helpers and support people, Heather. And this was Ray. He's turning a Huon bowl there. That's me. And thanks Jay for taking the photos for me. That's Kelly. This is Barry. Barry had some very nice lighting and allowed me to get some nice photos of him. This is Dooley. He also allowed me to get some nice photos with the light he had bouncing around. This is Bill sitting over in the corner there. This is Anita from Ararat. Salisbury Craft. Jay, thank you very much. Some beautiful colours there. I do have a set of his entire collection. Robbo sitting there watching a bud vase being made. Theo with his amazing scroll saw work. Sid. Yes, Sid. Yep. Sad Sid and happy Sid. Newton. He's made some absolutely interesting contraptions there. JB and Emma. Michael and Heather, so they were doing the raffle at the time. Michael giving us Captain Smiley. I really did enjoy getting his photos, because he doesn't often sit there with a smile on. Thank you for everyone that turned up and making this such an amazing event.